It's Funky Florals and Flakes, take 9. This one came together fast, only 9 takes.
I know, right? Sometimes an idea germinates over the course of a day or two, and I already knew what I wanted to do. I just had to convince Elizabeth that it was a fabulous idea.
It was a fabulous idea.
So what you're going to see is we're going to use Mona Lisa. Is that upside down?
I don't know.
Oh, it's this way. We're going to use Mona Lisa metal leaf flakes in combination with paint to make backgrounds that are filled with flakes. There's a lot of F's in this
Filled with
build.
flakes.
Yes, there's a lot of F's in this video.
Fabulous flakes, filled with fantastically fabulous flakes.
Calm down. Okay.
At least you know I can think fast. Are you burping?
No, that was not a burp. Jeez Louise. Wow, she threw me under the bus again. Okay, so I'm actually going to show you how to make this. And I'm going to talk a little bit about the way to get the flakes to stick to the damn plate. Because if you're not careful, you'll end up rolling paint on and it's going to pick up a lot of the loose flakes. So there's a whole kind of methodology that I've worked out. It's not foolproof, trust me. You will leave some flake on the plate. There's no way around it. Some of it you can pick up as a secondary pickup print. Some of it you're going to end up cleaning off because the paint won't pick it up. It's so adhered to the plate. But the important thing is you can get this marvelous background. So I have that pink one. This was an original print, and some places the pickup print for this. This one uses the variegated flakes. This was, excuse me, I think this was all gold flakes, and there was a little bit of purple left on the plate from a print that Elizabeth made yesterday, so I just went with it. And then you can see that this pickup print doesn't have a ton of flakes on it, but I ended up cleaning flakes off the plate. So the whole method—
And the floor.
And the floor, yes. And there's another F word. The whole methodology is really— the whole process is really dependent on that methodology to get the flakes to stick to the plate so you can make the base print. And then Elizabeth is going to show you. This is— we don't remember what the name of it is in the video, so we had to look it up.
What is it?
This is Funky Florals, Funky Jungle.
Funky Jungle.
Yep.
And I added that on top of the fabulous flaky print. So now we have layers of great color and shiny metallic.
Well, and I think you have said frequently over our time of working together, you're generally more interested in medium contrast prints for the way that you create. And I think does most of this qualify as medium contrast, or is it too big a contrast?
No, it's good. It is. It's good.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if there's an occasion where you either are doing it because you love the flakes, or because you need some kind of a collage paper that's got the metallic flakes in it, this is an opportunity to do that. Whether you come back and you print over it with a stencil, or you just use it as the background as is. And what you see me do in the video where I print it on paper, you could do that in a journal. So just keep in mind that technique works just as well, or on a card front or whatever.
Sure, yeah, you can do it on all kinds of different things besides just collage paper. And I think I said this in the video as well. This metallic leaf, the flake, is so thin that you can totally tear the paper with it on it, and it stays adhered because the paint is basically the glue that keeps that flake on the paper. So when you tear it, the flake is not coming off. So I could totally use it in collage and add some bling, specifically exactly where I want it with the collage paper with that on it. So tearing it and gluing it is no problem.
Awesome. Well, shall we go show them how to do it?
Let's go show them how to do it.
One of the things that I discovered that is important when you are putting the Mona Lisa metal flakes on a plate is some of it is not going to stick to the plate. You're going to find that it comes off on your brayer, but I'm going to show you what I do to try to mitigate that. And in case I forget to say it at the time, one of the things that you want to do is take a damp paper towel. When you are ready to wipe your— is this damp? That's damp. When you're ready to wipe your brayer off, it's going to have some leaf on here. You're going to want to use a damp paper towel and clean this off. You don't want to run that stuff down the drain. So that's all things being equal. I said that, and now I can mentally cross it off my to-say list. So this is the gold Mona Lisa metal flakes. And what I'm going to do is I've already got the bulk of this done. I'm gonna do this little corner up here I wanna show you. So when you take the flakes out of the package, one of the things that can happen is you can end up with a big clump like this. If you don't smooth this clump out, when you roll the paint over the brayer, you roll the paint over the plate, you're gonna pick this all up. So what I do, since I don't need that much of it, I'm just gonna grab a little piece of this, and I'm gonna put this down kind of a little bit at a time, and I'm pushing and pulling and rubbing and spreading that flake out so that as much of the flake is coming into contact with the plate as possible. Boy, I can't talk today. Because the plate naturally is tacky, it will hold as much of this in place as you can get to touch the surface. So that looks pretty good. Now, you can see that I'm really pushing this around and spreading this all out. And then the other thing that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come and I'm gonna press. Now, if I've got a thick wad on there, all the pressure in the world is not going to help that. But if I've spread it all out and I've got a piece that maybe doesn't have good contact, this will help it establish that contact. So you're gonna beat on the plate. And then I'm using, this is Permanent Red Violet Light. This is an opaque color, you can tell. Not that it matters really for all intents and purposes here. So I'm gonna put this color on the plate, and I'm gonna try to not overdo it, which is my normal kind of default option. And I'm gonna gently roll this out. Now you can see right now, I just mostly have paint on there because that leaf is pretty well stuck. Now, I am picking some up because it's loose, but again, it's not, trust me, I've done this enough times. It is not as bad as it could be. Okay, I don't need a ton of paint on here, which is good because I don't have a ton of paint on here. So that looks pretty good to me. I'm gonna take the 9x12 paper, the rice paper, I'm gonna put this down, and then I'm gonna go ahead and print this. Now, when I've been doing these kind of off to the side, playing around, I have really let this dry on the plate, but let's just peel this back and see how much I'm gonna pick up. Okay, so this is pretty close. I mean, I could kind of give this another rub, and Elizabeth has her Baron here. So let's just go ahead and do that. And now let's pick this up. So you can see that this is a little bit loose, and while this paint is damp, if you come back and you press this down, then it will stay in place. Now, you're never gonna pick this all up. I have done lots of these and never found myself where I picked the entire thing up, but that's good because you can come back and you can do a pickup print. How cool is that? So you get all this wonderful color, you get all of the shine, and like I said, if you just go back and you tap this, then you are ready to go. And the other thing that you can do, so I created this print a while ago, ages ago, and this is the pickup print from that. And then this is a print that I created, and I don't know where oh, it's that light one. This is the pickup print from this. So you will get some. I will tell you that once your pickup print is done, you will find maybe some of the paint, but probably some of the leaf left. Get some isopropyl alcohol and a paper towel, and it will pick right up for you. And again, you're not putting it down the drain. That's how simple it is to create a background sheet that's filled with colorful leaf.
So Barb created for me this beautiful piece of paper with sparkly bits on it, which is awesome in and of itself because they're not going anywhere. And they are very easy to tear in the collage paper. There's no problem tearing it because this metallic leaf is so very thin. So I have this beautiful base layer, and I'm gonna put a gel print over it to give it another layer of texture and pattern. Of course, you could use it just like this, but I just feel as though we gotta go one more layer, Barb.
Because you are, in fact, the layer queen.
The layer queen. So this is a light pink, and we have a metallic flake on there that Barb explained to you how she did. And I am going to use a transparent color, and I can tell that this is transparent because this little box here is open. So that means we can see through this paint color. Why is that important? Because I do want to see the gold through this. It's going to look different than it does without this color over it, but rather than obliterating the shiny, sparkly beauty with an opaque color, I'm choosing a completely transparent color so I can see the gold with this color on top and without. So the other thing that I carefully considered was I chose this stencil from my Funky Florals.
And I was going to look up the name of that.
You were.
I don't remember.
That's all right. We'll mention it in the closing comments.
There you go.
So I'm choosing this stencil because it has big, large areas of mask that are going to allow that gold to show. So I'm only going to be adding paint in this area, and I'm going to have large areas where the gold is still going to be able to be gold and bright and fun. So carefully considering my paint color, my opacity, and the stencil that I'm using. So there are several stencils in this Funky Florals line that are funky and chunky, like this one. So, chunky monkey.
That's right, sister.
Okay, so I am going to use my 6-inch Speedball Deluxe brayer so I can cover this plate in lickety-split with my translucent, transparent color, which is called Permanent Violet. Okay, so I'm going to put out a little bit of that. We want a nice thin layer. We want it to cover the whole plate, but we don't want it to be super thick. That way we can see through it even more when it's a nice thin layer. This is going to be a good color. We were a little bit afraid that it was going to be too high contrast, but I think it's going to be good.
I think the fact that it's transparent is going to make a difference.
Yes, because it's transparent, it's going to allow this pink to show through it, which will brighten it up. And if we were to print it on a white sheet of paper and the white showed through it, it would be even lighter. So here we're going to put this nice big chunky design down like that. We've got the 9x12 plate and the 9x12 stencil and the 9x12 Yasutomo Sketch Rice Paper Pad, my favorite paper, and that's what Barb is using here. Okay, so we're going to put that down, and I'm going to get my Baron and make sure that I apply pressure so that I get the print in all those open spaces. Now, my pro tip to this is that I always like to lift it up and take a peek before I pull the whole paper off in case there's an area that needs a little bit more pressure to make a better impression. So once you take it off, you're never going to line it back up again. So I like to, oh, look at that.
Yeah.
I like to take a peek there, and I'm going to take a peek down this side and make sure. I think I could get a little bit more pressure here. Always we tend to miss around the edges, but that's why I like this Baron, because if you're just using your hands, you kind of stay here in the middle and you don't get out here as much. I like the Baron because I'll go off the edges and out to the corners and really get good pressure across the whole print. So here we go. Look at that.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Wow.
And you know what? The transparent worked because we can see the gold through it. Actually, that's the variegated version, but still we can see through it.
Yes, so the transparent is key because we can still see the gold. It's just a bit tinted with the pink. And the chunky pattern is key because we get to see lots of big areas of gold. And of course, you could add more or less gold to this, depending on the effect that you want and how much gold you want. But that looks fantastic. And I'm going to try something here, Barb. I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm going to try something. I'm going to lift this up for the ghost print. And I'm going to flip the page in the opposite direction.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Let's just take a good look at this in case you love it and I ruin it. Enjoy, feast your eyes. Okay. So I'm just going to print the ghost print over itself, which will give it another layer and maybe a little bit interesting. Oh, look at that. That's it. That's
cool.
It's perfect. See? Oh, look, and we have gold on the plate. But look at that. So now we have kind of a double pattern, and the key for this to work is you have to flip the paper so that you're printing the second time over the ghost print in the opposite direction. Otherwise, they just line up. They're slightly out of register, but this way we've flipped it. So look at that. That is just gorgeous. I love it.
Yep, that's really nice.
Awesome. A great collaboration.
Indeed.
Indeed. So I wanted to tell you a short, quick, funny story about bits of flake on the floor in your path.
Okay.
So when my son Connor was in high school, we were in an upstairs apartment, and he came home from school and he said, "Mom, do you realize that there are little bits of paper going all the way up the stairs?" And I said, "Oh yeah, it's a little bit like Hansel and Gretel." And you know what he said? "I don't know what that is."
You never read your kid fairy tales?
Well, apparently not those
Not
old English ones that our parents read us.
Yeah, that were designed to terrify you.
Yes, they had different books that didn't involve people baking crows into pies and
or children
jumping over candlesticks and things like that. They had normal books. But anyway, I thought that was wild because we all know who Hansel and Gretel are. And he goes, "I don't know what that is." I'm like, "It's they. It's people." He was not interested.
Yeah, well, it's a different generation.
It is indeed. We'll see you back here next time.
Bye.